you have a particular number, or a good example is, okay, let's assume my organization has like almost 1,000 or 2,000 assets. Is it compulsory that I must put all the 2,000 assets in there? Or, okay, this is going to be between this number from this number, or minimum of this number, or maximum of this number?
Okay, thank you for that question, Mr. Ayaya. Also want us to understand the scope of the project. At the end of the project, you'll be submitting your reports back to Max-Migold, and at the same time, we want you to submit the same report back to your institute, to your organization rather. So if your company does not have an asset register already in place, and you are taking this work up, to do it diligently and, be able to add value to your organization, I expect you to be able to document all the assets within your care as a facility manager. No shortcuts about it. Because I tell you for free that in years to come, an asset register will be referenced to even when other facility managers eventually come there. So if you feel this is another way you want to add to your organization, please go ahead and do what is required. All of the assets within your care is what you should document. Okay, so that your company can also have a copy. Oh, Mr. Yaya has done this. These are things our students have done, and they've got recommendations from their bosses based on this. So, and I'm sure yours will not be an exception if you do it. So, if it's usually sometimes you have students who say, you know what, my company is too, I'm managing a very large portfolio, and as such, I cannot undo all of these projects. Usually, we encourage group work, project, teamwork for the project. Somebody who is managing an IRS, for instance, might not be able to do all of these projects individually. So usually we say, okay, you know what? Come up, let's know those who are willing to work as a team. If you have a large portfolio, let's know those who might also want to work with you. And this is something we also encourage, so that it's not really going to be cumbersome for you or overwhelming for you. So, Mr. Yaya, if you have a very large facility you feel you might not be able to handle, you want people to join with you, please, you can always put it in the group chat. I'm sure those who are willing to work with you as a team will definitely reach out to you. I hope that's clear, sir. Okay, Mr. Bayomi.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so what about people that are not working presently, that don't have any facility they are managing presently? I think this group that you just spoke about, can it be available for them so that we would work with other people that have organizations or something?
Yes, good. However, what we usually even say now is that for those who are unemployed, we have internship opportunities for you. So that is, you are ready to commit to, somebody who is already engaged or somebody who is already working cannot commit to an internship. So the least they can do is either work with their own facility, carry out the projects within their own facility currently, or maybe pair up, like I've already cleared with Mr. Jamil. Somebody you can pair up to work together. But for those who are unemployed, we request that you notify us if you are available for an internship placement. We'll work with you to place you in any facility management company around you. But usually, some people will say, you know what, I already have a list of facilities in my head. I know connections here. I want you to help me, work with the letter that I can present to them so that I can, work there. And, the purpose of the internship for those who are unemployed is that so that at the end of the day, when they see your value, you can get retained into the, system. So that's why we are saying that. But if you feel you cannot commit to internship, then you can then pair as a group. But unemployed, willing to work for any internship placement, please let us know. Or if you have any company already, please let us also know. We'll work with that for you.
All right, thank you.
I have a question, sorry.
Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
I had you mention that you can as well add the size of each of the offices. Is that necessary for us to register?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
I say, is it necessary to add to measure all the offices, all the rooms, to add in an asset register?
Okay,
Of what
again, again, I want to repeat, as the facility managers, do you know the assets within your care? I do not. Even some people just, I spoke to somebody else. Somebody was saying, no, the assets within my care are not even up to what I can document. We have cases like that. But in the long run, whatever you are doing, we want you to also be able to add value to your organization. There are two aim behind this project work. You're not just going to do it for doing sake. We also want you to document same in your organization. So if you feel you're up to the task, we usually encourage you to do that, right? We encourage you to carry out the project. That's why I'm saying now that it is too large for you to handle. We encourage, if your facility allows people to come, most times we've had companies who outsource asset register documentation and they get paid for it. So if you are doing it, free for them, I'm sure this should be able to add value should be able to quality organization, and as well, you as well should get the recommendation for doing such diligent work. But usually it's a diligent project. We don't want you to just be, put your mind to it and be able to add value to your organization, Mr. Isaac. Okay, Mr. Crowder says on the group that my company just bought over a big hospital in VI. I'm just about to start my assessment in this hospital. So for those who are interested, we can work together as a team. Okay, great. Okay, somebody already is saying that he's willing to work with anyone who is interested in this project. So Mr. Crowder, this is great. I'm sure that, please put same on the group chat so that those who want to reach out. I personally have somebody who is willing to work with you. I would also let them know about this update so that you can all get to it. Thank you very much for that. Okay. I hope we can move on to the second topic. That's the FCA. Okay, FCA, like you all know, facility condition assessment, is also one of the very critical assessments we encourage facility managers to do before they take over any facility. I could remember in some of engineer manuals classes that always conduct your FCA before taking up any new facilities per se, so that you can know what you are actually taking up. Not that you're taking liability upon yourself. There are so many defects in place already. Because you didn't do your condition assessment. At the end of the day, you are spending money trying to repair, trying to fix one or two things. But okay, there's a message in the room. Okay, great. So I like this. So Mr. Isaac, please, I would really appreciate you all put this on the class group as well, so that this networking of this project can actually kickstart. Thank you so much for that. So like I said, for the FCA, something you need to actually conduct before you take up a new facility is very, very critical. You don't just take, I got a job, okay, fine, you're moving. Always conduct a facility condition assessment. And at the end of your FCA, you'll be able to give solid recommendations, because when we are talking about facility management, we also want us to be at that strategic level where we can give recommendations, advice to our own organization. So you're not just going to, we are just maintaining, be able to give strategic, be able to make strategic decisions for your organization, be able to give recommendations that will benefit your organization in the long run. So for the FCA, it actually gives you that insight about how well your facility is doing, whether you have the major defects, what asset or what facility requires maintenance, or which one requires replacement. And as such, you are able to make decisions and appropriately. So Ms. Engineer Emmanuel actually facilitated this course as well. And in the course of this training, we also wanted to practicalize this. I can tell you for a fact that anyone who is able to carry out this project topic, like an achievement, the rest are assured. In interviews today, when some of our students go and they say this is one of the achievements they've been able to do for the organizations, this will speak well for you because you know what you're doing. You'll be able to work with the appropriate documentations required for facility managers. So for the FCA actually requires some work, and it's important that you understand what is required of you when you're conducting your FCA. Also, we have the template here for you that you can work with, that makes it easier for you to carry out the project. And here we have the FCA template. So This FCA template will basically guide you on how you can go about, checking out for these defects and recording them as required in your FCA documents. So these are basically what we want you to check out for. But however, if you have additional components or sub-components you might also want to check out for, please feel free to add them, because different buildings differs, and some buildings might not have balconies, some might not have some of these HVAC. Whatever your company have is what you should be able to work with in this FCA sheet. But this is just a guide on how you are supposed to do for each of these components. So for instance, we are taking roof, so you need to check your roof, the roofing structure and the gutter. Is it the roof surface you're checking? What's the condition rating? I also want to believe that we have all gone through this project docket, because you need to also understand you yourself, and so whatever discussion we are doing this evening is just going to complement what you already read about it. So for instance, I took roof for an example here. So for your roof, you're checking the roofing structure and the gutter. What's the condition rating? So here we also have a condition rating box that allows you assign adequately to your components the condition rating. You can see here that 1 means excellent, 2 good, 3 adequate, 4 marginal, and 5 poor. So anywhere here I'm seeing your condition rating as 1. I believe already that that asset or that facility is in a good condition, that is excellent. But when I see maybe 5 means poor, it means the condition of that component is very poor. So basically, your condition rating should be able to assign appropriately. It differs. So we are not expecting the same round figure for everybody. Whatever is in my facility might not be what's in your own. That's clearly understood. But be able to assign it appropriately as required. So observe defects. What have you seen in your roofing structure? Is it a leaking roof? Is it a dented roof? Whatever observations must have encountered during this inspection is what you should document here, and this may vary. For your repair scope summary, as facility managers as well, you should be able to give the scope, repair scope of whatever defect you have observed in the course of the assessment. Your estimated cost means the estimated cost of repair. So how much is it going to cost you to repair all of this scope summary you have highlighted here? Be able to document that. Then CRV is the current replacement value. That is, how much will it cost you to replace that particular asset or fixture entirely? Repair, it might take you maybe 1 million to repair, but to replace the entire roofing now might be close to 2 million, 3 million. To be able to document that here as well. Then your FCI. FCI is very, very, very important for your facility condition assessment. If you have done your FCA without an FCI, you have absolutely done nothing. FCI is the key information you are looking out for at the end of the day, because the FCI will be able to indicate what condition your facility is at the end of the day. You'll be able to make that decision. You'll be able to give that recommendation at the end of the day. So usually to calculate your FCI is usually your estimated repair cost over CRV, which is your current replacement value. The FCI, again, I repeat, is the estimated cost. That is, how much is it taking you to repair this particular asset divided by the current replacement value. That is, how much will it take you to replace it totally. That's what you get for the FCI multiplied by 100. So and at the end of the day, for each of your components, you do the FCI and then do your total FCI. Whichever way you want to do it, there are ways you can do it, but you're able to give the average FCI at the end of the day. It then tells you how well your facility is doing. Usually from 0 to 5% is a good, excellent, excellent, is absolutely excellent. So if I see, if you are saying here that your overall cost, what's it called, FCI is maybe 4%, okay, that's an excellent facility. It means you have you have less, let me put it that way, defects in that facility. But 5 to 10 is actually fair. It means it's fair. Okay, maybe it's still in good condition. We need maybe some minor repairs or something like that. But anything above 10, it means it's critical. So you need to be able to, all of these things, you can always reference it back in your course material, your facility condition assessment lecture. You can always refer back to this to be able to deduct all of this. And I also need to let you know that when you talk about facility condition assessment, your pictures of your observed defects are very important. If you're talking about a leaking roof, there should be a picture to show it that, okay, this is the leaking roof, this is a picture of what it looks like, because this is something you're presenting to your company. You're not just going to be talking, oh, okay, let's see it. So that's why we want that. By standard, FCA should be tagged along with pictures of these major defects, so to say. So when I talk about defects, I also need to put in code that we're talking about the major defects. These are things you should document for, because when management review, okay, the major defect, and you have also accompanying them with pictures to back up your claim that, okay, these things need so repairs and all of this. So at the end of the day, for your pictures that you're showing, so if you're saying you have a leaking roof, you have a broken fence or cracked fence, or whatever defect you have, I do not know, but I know that this defect varies. The defect in company A is definitely going to be different from what we have in this. So accompany them with pictures. It goes a long way to say, oh, this person have done the diligent work. But somebody can actually walk up and say, I'm going to fill it. Okay. No, you need to fill it and also show pictures of this observed defects. I hope that's clearly understood before we move to project 3. So basically, your your FCA can come in a Word document format, because you need to also prepare an executive summary for it. So after you must have worked with this template, an executive summary is required from you, which includes, giving a brief background of your facility. You can see it here. Okay, the introduction, then your general facility description. You need to be able to give, okay, my facility is just be able to give all of those description, so that this is something, like I said, will be referenced to in years to come if you do a diligent work here. So, and at the end of the day, your condition assessment table is there. Your picture gallery, you can see it here. You need to be able to back it up. You need to be able to back it up with pictures. So whatever defects or major defects have recorded, please ensure to show pictures and give appropriate caption to it. Summary of cost estimates, remedial works, facility condition index, and your conclusion. Also very important that at the end of the day, you should be able to give recommendations and conclusion at the end of the day that, okay, what were you able to observe? What were you able to deduct from the whole assessments you've done? And what recommendations would you want to give to the organization? So it's very important that we do that as well. Can I move on to project 3? Okay, so I'll move on to project 3.
Sorry. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So this project 2 now. So all these this outline, this template that was given. So is it that this template has to be retyped in Excel, right? Or is going to be in Word?
Okay. But for the asset register, I said what would work best for that is going to be an Excel format, because of the rows and columns, so that will be able to accommodate that. But
I'm talking about
yes,
I'm talking about
FCA.
Okay.
Yes, FCA would work in what's it called, MS Word. Yes, you can work in MS Word, because you have to work with executive summary. You need to be able to give pictures of the major defect, and then have this table in it as well. So, but whichever way works for you. Okay. Most times, some people say, I want to work with these rows. I want to put it in an Excel sheet, and then have my executive summary, all of that in an MS Word. So, whatever works for you is what. But ensuring that the best.
So typically, what I just table is what we are working with for the project 2.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
So
Hello?
what the question is, this table that has from number 1 to 11, so typically this is what we are supposed to replicate, whether you want it in the MS Word or you want to put it in Excel. So this is typically what we are working on for project 2.
Yes, this is the template. However, there are additional that you need to also work on. Yes, I hear you. Can you hear me as well?
Okay.
Can you hear me? Hello? Wow. Hello, Mr. Jam, you can hear me.
Yes,
can
okay. I can hear you.
You're audible.
Okay, what I'm saying
Yes,
is
yes, yes.
that
Yes, we can hear you.
This is template that will guide you in making those assessment, checking, and recording your observations and the likes. However, when you are done, it's only from this information you can be able to work further on the conclusion and recommendation of the FCA, because the FCA at the end of the day should be able to give you an outcome. You're not just doing it, oh, this is what I told you. There needs to be an outcome of your findings. And that's why if you carefully go through this, you'll see that we have highlighted that your FCA should come in this report format. There should be a cover page, executive summary that will include, findings of your report, then introduction, if you want to give introduction of what FCA is all about.
Just come.
Someone is okay. So executive summary. Mr. Bayomi, you need to stay muted. Okay, like I said, your FCA, no problem. Your FCA needs to come in this format that would capture the cover page. We just have, maybe your building details, just the way it has been highlighted here. You have your executive summary where you'll be able to give findings about your audit report, then introduction of the project FCA per se, just very few brief introduction about what FCA is all about and what you are expected to get from it. Then your general facility description. Okay, my facility is a 6th-floor building, situated on. Those are just things we want you to document there because, like I said, in years to come, this will be referenced. Okay. Then after doing that, then the condition assessment, which is then this template. This is the sheet basically you need to work with on that. Okay. And then after that, you also need to show pictures of your major defects. So whatever things must have recorded in this sheet, you need to also be able to give pictures to back them up to say, okay, this is, because we know that if you are saying just work with this, people can just fill in information and submit. No. So as such, you're doing that, you're also, tagging pictures of each of your defects in your reports. Remedial works, summary of cost estimates, and then your FCI. FCI is very, very important, which is the Facility Condition Index. It's very important for your FCA. If you have carried out facility condition assessment without FCI, you've done nothing. So please put that into key consideration when carrying out your FCA, because your FCI at the end of the day will be able to tell you how well your facility is doing. I gave the rating already that from 0 to 5% is on a good standing. It means your facility or your asset is in good condition and has little repairs. But from 5 to 10, it means it's also good, but has some major, I don't want to say major repairs. I don't want to say major, but it beats more than little repairs that you need to do. But anything from 15% and above, it means your facility is in a critical condition. You can always reference that back to your FCA material so that you can be able to allocate accordingly as how it is applicable in your own facility. Okay.
Sorry, can we ask a question?
Yes, please.
Okay. The facility condition index, you said it, how do you calculate it? You are giving a percentage, I lost.
Okay, so for FCI, Facility Condition Index, the formula is your estimated repair costs over the current replacement value. What this means is that how much does it take you to, how much will it take you to repair this particular assets? Then you divide it by the amount that would take you to replace the asset entirely. So for instance, I'm talking about roof. How much is it going to take us to repair our leaking roof? Maybe it's going to take us 1 million. I record that here. Then how much is it going to actually take us to replace the entire roof? That's the current replacement value. So if that's going to be around 2 or 3 million, I also record that in the sheet. Then calculate my FCI to be the cost of this repair, but the cost of actually replacing that particular asset. So
yeah, please. The cost of replacement, is it necessary to be included in this table of summary, this table for the project?
Yes,
If in case but it's not stated here, someone can include it.
This CRV, this is it. CRV means current replacement value. This is it.
Okay.
That's it. It's needed for you to calculate your FCI. So you work with the estimated repair cost and the current replacement value to get it. Okay, so because at the end of the day, that's to say, okay, my facility is doing well, and be able to give recommendations, be able to give, I'll be able to even make decisions just from that report alone.
One more thing.
Okay.
One more thing. Sorry, before can I go on?
Yes, please go on.
Okay. You gave an example now that based on the percentage, that is 0 to 5% means good, and yes, 5 to 10% means excellent. Yeah. 0 to 5% excellent. Then maybe 5 to 10% fair.
Yes.
Okay, so in that state, are we doing the total summary
on
all equipment to know your FCI, or on each section? Like for instance, if you are talking about the roof, you just do your FCI on the roof, then you can say, okay, this based on this FCI, this is good, this is fair, this is bad.
Okay, so
or you have to do the overall for the whole facility.
There are ways you can do it. So if you want to get FCI for a particular asset, for your roof, let's say for instance, you can get it. You know where your roof is doing. Okay. In the long run, you also do the average, the overall, collate and make your average FCI to know how well the facility in question is also doing. Do you get? You'll be able to do on, okay, my AC is doing well, I don't have issue with it. You just have to know those information for your own sake. And then at the end of the day, you are able to give the overall FCI calculation, that's the average, to be able to bring your own conclusion on the overall facility. Because what you are doing is going to be on fast. Okay, now from there you'll be able to know, oh, this building is still good. We don't need any repair. We have just little repairs required. But if, for instance, like I said, for each of your assets, you just want to know how you are doing in terms of assets. You know, okay, this one is the one that is doing bad. You know the one that is doing well from your FCI. But in the long run, after you must have done, whichever way you want to do it is fine. But to do a diligence work, you want to know how your plumbing system is also doing, so that you know, okay, my FCI here is doing great. Then at the end of the year, you have your average summary of your estimated cost, just total it, then this current basement value total, then you're able to calculate your overall FCI total as well. I hope you can do your the average. You can do the average in that terms.
Then one last thing, sorry, is how often, aside the fact that you are submitting this for a project, how often should it be carried out on a facility? Can it be a quarterly basis, biannual or annual thing that you can do?
For FCA, facility condition assessment is actually done.
Yes.
It's actually, some people say they do it once. Usually when you are actually taking up a new facility, is when it's recommended. So if, for instance, you are taking up a new facility today, you need to conduct this FCA. What you can then be doing in the long run, eventually, maybe when you're already in the system, is the FPE. That's the facility performance evaluation, to know how a facility is doing. But before you move into that building, you need to know, okay, this is what you are doing, this is where the defect lies, this is what needs to be maintained. Because most times you take up facilities and at the end you are taking up liabilities, we eventually spend the whole money you think you make on some repairs. So, but when you know all of this information and the ahead of time, you can make your decision, you can negotiate, but something that will benefit both yourself and the client in the long run. But subsequently, when you're already in the system, after you must have sorted your FCA, be able to give your conclusion, and then do what is required. Then FP, that's the facility performance evaluation. It can be done maybe like you said, quarterly, and this is usually done based on the, how do I say it, the users of your facilities. Just conduct that evaluation to ask them how your facility is doing, so that okay, people are enjoying the services and every other thing is in place. I hope that's clear, Mr. Abayomi. Okay, so Madam Mukamaka is asking a question in the group. She's saying that, she said, can I place, no, videos are not allowed, Madam Mukamaka. No, just pictures. You don't need videos. Videos will be too large and it will make your files bulky. So just do with pictures. Neat pictures with appropriate caption. Some students will just paste pictures without giving proper captioning of what they're even talking about. As facility managers, we need to be diligent in what we are documenting. Documentations with appropriate information to guide what you have shown. When your management are going through or reviewing your FCA report, they want to be able to see, this is what Mr. Abayomi has done, and we are able to even deduct from it. So you show pictures of a leaking roof or of a dented roof and be able to caption it appropriately. Okay. Yes, Mr. Emiko, yes. Replacement cost, yes. No, not replacement cost, though. Estimated repair cost. How much is it going to take you to repair, divided by the CRV. CRV is the current replacement value. So how much is it going to take you to repair, divided by how much is it going to take you to replace it entirely, gives F times 100, gives FCI. So not replacement, is repair cost. Estimated repair cost over current replacement value, CRV times 100 gives FCI. Okay, so FCI less than 5% means your excellence is doing well. It's absolutely doing well. It's excellent. So you do not, means repair is minor. You do not even need a third. Okay, somebody saying, can we get facility performance evaluation templates, ma? Okay, okay, I'll just, okay, I can't promise this, but I'll speak to the faculty and see how fast we can get something. But facility performance evaluation basically would also, okay, template would guide you on what to do, but basically it's going to be, unique to whatever whatever your facility is about. So whatever services you're arranging, whatever you're managing, whatever assets, it's an hospital. Okay, so I think I'll just speak with Engineer Emmanuel on that, but I would not want to promise now, but I'll sure work with Engineer Emmanuel to get something for SCE.
Sorry,
Okay.
probably maybe I can share the ones I use for
Oh,
on
good.
a monthly monthly. Although it's an hospitality sector, but the one I use on a monthly report. Maybe I'll share it on the WhatsApp.
Please do it. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Madam Grace, Mr. Bayomi has promised to share that with us. So please do that. Okay. Less than an hour to go. I think we can just go for a 5 minutes economics breaks, and we'll be back at exactly 6:12. Thank you. Okay, I think it's 6:12 and 5-minute break is up. Please confirm if you can hear me so that we can continue with the project 3. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, so continue with the project 3, which is HSC. I'm aware that we've not done the HSC course yet, but within the coming week, should be one of the courses that we will be taking. So as facility managers, it's also very important to know that the health and safety, within our organization is also our own. Also one of and they live in good health condition. So you're just going to be a facility manager. You also need to also implement good health safety policies in your organization. Basically, as facility managers as well, most organizations would even have HSC officer aside their facility manager. So, but you need to work hand in hand. The safety of the organization is also your own core part as facility manager. It needs also be, you're concerned with it. It also affects you, and as such, you should be able to ensure that your facility is always in safe and secured condition. So for the HSC audit, it's basically just for you to carry out HSC audit, see how your facility is ready for emergency, know what appropriate things are in place, ready to excuse me, sorry, ready to tackle any HSC issue. I could remember sometimes when we went for a field trip. Yes, I think that was maybe last year or last 2 years thereabouts. I think that was to a new estate around Ikota, yes, in Ikota, yes. So we went there, was a new, just a mini estate, right? But everywhere was just the luxury facility. Was a woman that was managing it, and she was an opportunity to attend this program. So we went there on the facility visit, as we normally do. So when we got there, because one of the aim of our facilitator is that our facilitators come on your side. They are also able to give you recommendations that would best, impact whatever activity you're already doing, whatever you can do to make sure that your activities are also going better. So when we got there, we just did the checks and everything, and recommendations were given. Along the line, discussion about HSE then came up to see, okay, can we even see a fire extinguisher in this estate? So our utmost surprise, not even a single fire extinguisher was found in place. And we're talking about a luxury. It didn't even occur to us, the facility manager, because most facility managers are just working. I'm a facility manager, I'm managing all of those things, but they are not ensuring proper things are in place. They're not approaching HSE the right way, although because she was able to rectify that issue because she was in this program. And that's the changes we want you to make. You need to ensure that your facility is always safe. You go through the right HSE policy, and any exposure to harmful chemicals, we know you work with the chemicals for water treatment, and as such, you are keeping all of these things away from people. Because as a facility manager, you also be queried if eventually there's any liability in terms of HSE. So as such, you need to also conduct an HSE audit. This is the requirements for your HSE audit. Basically, you can also work with a Microsoft Word document that would include the cover page, the executive summary, giving the introduction. This you have already done in your SCA. You can just replicate some of it. The purpose of your audit, HSE audit, and then you'll be able to give objectives, your scope, your methodology, and your audit findings. Picture gallery as well for HSE is also very important, and be able to give recommendations. All of these things, we are just doing it right. We want you to start acting at the strategic level of facilities management. If you're currently at the operations level, these are things you can do to push yourself to that strategic level. Be able to give recommendations after you must have diligently carried out all of these findings. So for your HSE audit, this is the template you work with. Each of the templates you work with regarding HSE. The very first one here says, does the organization have an HSE policy in place and displayed? Yes or no? I don't know whether you have it or you don't have it, but this is an audit you need to be sincere about. You can do with asking people around, or even checking, just doing a questionnaire. But I don't know, whichever way it comes. If you want to do a one-on-one, or you already have it, can also document the response accordingly. So does your organization have an HSE policy displayed in place? The question is very in place and displayed, yes or no? Probably might have it, but is it displayed? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. No, because when you say HSE is probably in place and displayed, people even understand it. People were communicated to it as regards, because HSE might just be in place and nobody knows about it. So when it's being displayed, it means it's being communicated to people. People are aware about it, and as such, they will take precautions as required. So you need to be able to document yes or no as it applies to your organization, likelihood of it. Okay, you don't have it, yes. For instance, if you have it, yes. And then what is the likelihood? Then that will not be applicable. Then impact. So what's the impact of you having your HSE in place and displayed? The impact is going to be positive, definitely. Because it means people are aware about it and you communicate it to them. So, it seems this is what people are familiar with. Because even some organizations, they do not even have any HSE policy in place, but the difference we want you to make after this program is that you then start working on the strategic level, the facility manager. Okay, so you put your impacts, then risk level. So risk level is definitely going to be minimal because you have displayed it and every other thing is in place. Then what recommendations are you going to give? Even if it's already in display, what recommendations do you want to give? You want to do a brief talk on it on a weekly basis or monthly basis, You need to be able to give recommendations on each of these line items. or if, for instance, your own is not even displayed, you don't even have an HSE policy in place and displayed, the recommendations there should be that, okay, you want to start, you would eventually start implementing it to ensure that our HSE policy is placed and current is displayed and people are being communicated to it as regards that. I think HSE, for HSE level, Engineer Kolapo will do justice to that. There are some HSE strategies but also implement the own organization as regard the health and safety of your of people that come into your facility. Okay, I think HSE is actually pretty straightforward, provided that you go through or you follow the reporting formats required from you, as stated above. It's something you can also work with using what's it called, MS Word, Microsoft Word is also fine. You'll be able to accommodate. So questions you ask yourself and how it applies to you, because it's definitely going to be different. It's going to vary from different organizations. So you would not expect to see the same verbatim information for Mr. A and Mr. B. It's definitely going to be different. Also, when you talk about HSE, when your audit findings, whatever findings you eventually, make, you document it, because that will also be able to, that will also allow you give recommendations at the end of the day. Picture gallery is also important for your HSE. So if, for instance, you don't even have any HSE signs displayed in place, you need to, these are things we want you to show or be able to give recommendations on. If, for instance, you have a poor lighting in an area, you can show picture of it and, whatever hazard that can cause, you can also document it. If, for instance, you have a naked wire in your office, which is not supposed to be so, you should be able to take pictures, document it, and, let your management know, and then be able to correct. These are things we want you to do and, add value to your organization at the end of the day. I think that's that about HSE. HSE is also pretty straightforward. I hope that's clear. Before we move to project 4. Okay.
Sorry, Baraka, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
So for this HSC, so what we are making use of now is this table 1 and table 2, right? Then the other ones is just more or less like a guideline for the table 1 and table 2.
Yes. Yes, and like I also said that in your reports as well, you should be able to give information as regards the cover page, the executive summary, the introduction of the project, your scope, your methodology, your audit findings. What were you able to find at the end of the day, and be able to show pictures. When you're saying you saw something like this, the management will only believe if you're able to show pictures for it. They want to say, oh, this person is saying the right thing, okay? And then give recommendations at the end of the day, conclusion, and can close the HSC report on that. How that's clear, sir? Okay, I think we have just about 30 minutes. Okay, so we'll go to project 4 as well. Project 4 is the Emergency Preparedness and Business Continuity Plan. I call it EP and BC. This is also one of the courses we'll be having in the coming week. And as facility managers, I always tell people that this is the plan B, right? As facility managers, you should always have your plan B, plan option. You would not only focus on one without having a plan. Okay, can we get an example of any of these projects, like where the scope and summaries were explained? Okay, all of these scope and summaries are pretty much, how do I say it? They do not require much, I don't want to say much information. So there's something based on your own work or your workload. These are something you can document. This shouldn't even take usually 5 lines is okay. 2 paragraphs, 1 paragraph is fine for your scope. It won't take you much at all. So just give scope on what your audit is all about, your conformance, the outline of whatever you want to do. Okay, this is what you want to be checking out. Just basically scope of what you intend to do. That's what the scope line item. You shouldn't dwell so much on all of that. But however, these are things that the facilitator will also be looking out for. These are not the main work. Actually has to do with these templates and your audit findings, then the picture gallery, your recommendation and conclusion. Every other things are just sub information that will give you additional marks. You shouldn't dwell too much on that. Okay, I think we are on project 4 now. That's the emergency preparedness and business continuity plan. This is also very, very important for facility managers. I call it the plan B option. You need to have a plan B plan option. As facility managers, you just do not depend solely on one option, because emergencies can occur at any point in time. And as facility managers, you should be ready to tackle this emergency as they come. Okay. So your business continuity plan is actually that process or that plan that you develop. You develop it in a way to address any essential function of your organization when there's an emergency. So what plan have you put in place if there's going to be an emergency of water shortage in your organization? For your lights, when there's a blackout, what was your plan B option? So as facility managers, you need to have all of this backup plan documented. Not, oh, I have it in my head. Fine, you have it in your head, but you need to also provide documentations for it so that even in your own absentia, somebody else can go back to say, oh, this is what we have been doing in the past when we had this issue and it has worked for us. So definitely I can just carry out this I can just pick up these documents, go through it and say, oh, this is the best solution we have to implement at this point in time. So for the business continuity plan and emergency preparedness plan, we want you to just develop this series of plan that would work for you when there's an emergency, that would not allow it to disrupt your own activity, because there are some core business activities that when there's a failure in any of the tasks, it might actually run down the whole business. So as such, you need to be very careful and have this backup plan in place. So when there's a water shortage in your facility, what's your plan? It means that, okay, the borehole, what's it called? The pumping machine failed, your reservoir, there's no water in your reservoir. What have you done? What plans have you done? And because if I say, okay, as a facility manager, oh, nothing can happen to my facility. Nothing can happen to any of my activities because I ensure maintenance. You cannot be so sure of yourself, but ensuring that you have this backup in place, it makes your work much more easier and saves you a lot of stress. So for instance, when you talk about water shortage in your facility, and that could actually happen due to so many reasons. If for instance your pumping machine breaks down, then maybe your reservoir, so anything you can imagine the way emergency, even things you do not expect would happen to you, but you will only be able to tackle these things because you already have a plan B. So there's no water in your facility. I expect you, okay, you have a list of vendors. I don't know what plan you have, but I'm giving you an example, for instance. So I have a list of vendors that can supply water to my facility within the if for instance there's water shortage in an hour, I can assure myself that I have vendors that can supply water to my facility within 30 minutes or 20 minutes. This is what we want you to establish and put in place. And you also need to establish rapport with your vendors so that when there's an emergency, they can come to your rescue when you need them. It's not only when the emergency comes you want to start. When you build this rapport with them, they would come to meet you at your time of need. So for the emergency preparedness plan, basically there are about 7 key headers you need to work with, which is the risk assessment, the risk assessment, the business impact analysis, incident response plan, roles and responsibilities, key contact lists, and business recovery plan. These are the headers you'll be working with when it comes to EP and BC. You need to also carry out a risk assessment on your facility. You need to understand the risk that's applicable, that can happen to your facilities, and as such, be able to give proper remedy or contingency plans to each of these risks, so that when they come, you are prepared for it and you understand what can go wrong. So for your business impact analysis as well, all of these templates are actually here, but this is just for you to be able to document this down and have them running. You need to have these key activities running. Incident response plan as well. Your roles and responsibilities. Usually, roles and responsibilities is just for your vendors. So they have a vendor who is managing or maintaining your sewage or maintaining your generator. Be able to have it, or even for your staff, for facility managers, who is your backup person in case you're not available. How have you, schedule all of these things? You need to document them as well. Then the key contact list, internal and external. So this refers to your vendors as well, your internal people, or your external people when it comes to emergencies. When it comes to external people here, you're talking about the RRS, or maybe the fire safety people, the water tankers, could be basically any of them. You need to have all of these things because it will help you in the long run. It's not just when you need information, I need a social contact. Fine, you might need it at that point, but whenever you're able to get this document on whenever you're able to start working on this, you will definitely get it right. You start documenting each of these information. Okay, I got a contact of one reliable water supplier today. I'm going to document it. Another one. Just it gives you that level of confidence as a facility manager, because you know that even when emergency comes, you are ready to tackle the situation. So also for your EP and BC, the reporting formats has also been highlighted here. The cover page, executive summary, introduction, and the scope. Then each of the 7 headers I talked about that we'll be working on, which is the risk assessment. The table is here. You can see here what risk. So you need to also analyze within your facility what risks is your facility subjectable to. You need to also know that, because sometimes different risks are involved in different facility. Whatever risk I'm exposed to in my facility, your facility might not be exposed to it. So you need to be able to document that and then be able to record accordingly. So we are talking about frequent generator breakdown in your facility. What's the likelihood of this risk happening in your facility? Is it very high? VH means very high. Is it high or medium? So impact, what's the impact when there's a frequent generator breakdown? What impact does it bring to your business? Is this just something that nobody even knows, or work activities can still keep going? You need to also know the impact and record accordingly. Then what's the priority? So for some business, light is an essential function. Without light, they cannot work. You cannot tell me for an hospital or for a theater, the operation is being carried out. Light is definitely of high priority there. So you need to be able to document this and put and record or document accordingly preventative actions and contingency plans that would help you tackle each of these risk items. So you can see for the frequent generator breakdown here, we said we have to develop a preventive maintenance schedule for each of our generators and dutifully adhere to the maintenance plan to foster equipment reliability. Okay, that's preventive action, right? Then what's the contingency plan for generator breakdown? You deploy the off-peak and peak strategy. For you, yours can be different. It will be that you have a plan B generator, and you need to ensure that this is something you check every day that is working. Your contingency can be different, can vary. But what we want to see is that you have assessed all these risks that can happen to your facility, and as such, you already have your contingency plans in place. Okay, I think that's just that. Whatever information that are not listed there, and you feel you want to also put them, please, you can feel free to make additions to it. Then the business impact analysis as well. So this also requires that you document your business impact analysis for your critical business activities. Just it differs from different facilities, right? But the way it is applicable in your facility is what is required for you to document. So for your facility management activities, describe it, what you are involved with, and your priority. So for some facilities, they say, facility management is not of high priority, but we all know that FM is of high priority in every organization. The impact of loss of FM would have, because what we have already stated is that, okay, when there's impact of loss on FM, it means that there's going to be loss of business and revenue due to downtime. And there's going to be reduction in staff productivity. That's if there's facilities management loss, part of loss of facilities management. Then the RTO, that's the recovery time objective. That is how many hours or what's the period it will take you to recover from that emergency back to your normal cycle. So when there's no water, how many hours or how many minutes will it take you to ensure that everything is reinstated back to normal? So this is also one of the emergency preparedness and business continuity plan we want you to work with. Okay. Okay. So also the incident response plan, immediate response checklist as well. Be able to record accordingly as it is applicable in your own organization. And your roles and responsibilities, you can see here already. Facility managers, who is the alternate person, and your responsibilities, like that for all the roles within your sector. Then the key contact list, like I said earlier, that you have the external and the internal key. Like I said, for some organizations, they have their HSC personnel on site. They have their firewarding internally. They have people who have been assigned to carry out some of these activities internally. So you need to document all of these things. Even in some organizations, you have them, paste all of these key contact lists in terms of emergency outside the organization. So for your own external as well, your key contact people when it comes to your vendors who are maintaining your generators, those who can come in terms of emergency. That's what I was talking about, the firewarding people. That's the fire safety team. Yes, you need to also have their contact, and these are people you need to create rapport with from time to time. It's not only when you need them, you need to call them, because when you have an emergency, you can imagine how desperate you need each of your activities to get back running. But it's only those you are able to, create that rapport with and they are acquainted with you that would immediately come to your rescue. So we want you to also create all of this as your key contacts can be as many as possible, and just document them. And those that need to be displayed externally can be displayed, so that even in your own absentia, somebody can see and pick, oh, this is the person we need to pick when we need this, and we'll be able to continue with the activities. Okay. I think that's that about the EP and BC. Move on to project 5. Project 5 is the maintenance plan. This is also one of the easiest you can work with. You all agree with me that in the course of this program, we have done the facility maintenance strategy course as well as the maintenance planning and record course. So it's very important that as facility managers, we can properly monitor and track our maintenance schedule, and be able to show documentation of what we are doing. So no, I have it in my head. No, it's not like that. We work with documentations accordingly. So basically, maintenance plan is also one of the easiest you can work with, provided that you have done your assets register. So you need to just copy out all of the assets, starting from the asset information you have pasted, replicate it. But now you'll be adding additional information that includes the maintenance strategy. Well, maintenance strategy is already in asset register, right? what you need to add additionally here includes your maintenance activities, the frequency, the cost of maintaining, is it outsourced or insourced, responsible party, then your day one calendar. So what this means is that, so if you're talking about your asset, AC asset is split, maintenance strategy is PPM, that's plan preventive maintenance. Then what maintenance activities are you doing? Are you cleaning the filter? What are you doing? Or you're washing? Whatever activities are doing, you need to document it. And then what's the frequency of the maintenance activities? Is this something you do on a daily basis, or on a monthly or annual basis or quarterly basis? To be able to document it here. Then the cost of maintaining, it doesn't cost us anything. It's just the in-house staff that do, just document it so that all of your activities are being, documented for reference purpose. So outsourced or insourced? Is it outsourced? Are you doing it internally, or you've outsourced it to a vendor? Then when it is insourced, it is Mr. Bayomi that is doing it, to put his name. It is outsourced to Mr. A company. You need to also document that for reference purpose. Then when it comes to the calendar, okay, calendar basically wants you to monitor and track how it's being done. So if you are doing an activity on a daily basis, we want to see how you are doing it on that daily routine. So usually we've had cases whereby somebody will say you don't want to do a long Excel sheet, but however, I would want to make use of color coding when it comes to this calendar, because you need to show that you are doing it. Most times, some students will work with colors. So for instance, they'll create a key table here that has the different color codes. So for instance, they can assign blue to a daily activity. So anywhere I see blue, I know it's a daily activity. Then red might be assigned to an annual maintenance activity. What I'm saying in essence is that whatever style, whatever method you want to use to indicate your activities, you need to give key information on it. You can also do your calendar and ensure that you have the calendar all through the year on the Excel so that you can properly document it there. Or just like I said, make do with color coding so that anywhere I see day 1 year, anywhere I see black, I know that okay, this was done in a particular day in the month. I think that's about maintenance plan. So moving on to the last one, which is the budgeting and reporting. Okay, as facility managers, you all agree with me that at the beginning of the new year, or even before the beginning, we always document a budget for the next year, for that year exactly, so that you can plan or know what has been allocated excuse me, for you to use, or for you to utilize in carrying out your duties and operations effectively. Usually people say this budgeting is very confidential. Yes, it's very confidential, because some people say, you know what, I cannot tell you our company's amount, how much you are spending. It's fine. For budgeting, accuracy is not going to be measured. But what's very important for us is that we understand how you can carefully document for your OPEX and CAPEX, that's your operating expenditure and your capital expenditures. You should be able to document them as required. So even if you're okay, we're not definitely going to be going to your company to say, okay, how much you just spend? No, we'll definitely not do that. But we want to ensure that you understand what is required of you, and you are able to, document it as required. So for each of your budget line item, the headers have been clearly stated here. Ensure that you input what is required and, give appropriate information. So for your assumptions and justifications, I know we should be able to do that for each of our line items so that your marks can be allotted accordingly, because most times people just say, oh, it's confidential, I cannot, they try to rumble through it. No, the facilitators will be looking out for formulas. As a facility manager, you need to be able to show that you can work, because I expect this to be on an Excel sheet, right? Yes. So when you're working with that Excel sheets, let your formula reflect that you have been able to add your OPEX and CAPEX, not, oh, you are doing it with calculator or your phone. No. So please, if you need help on that, ensure you speak to anyone who can assist you, because these are the basic things they might be checking out in your FM budgeting and reporting. Since they cannot cross-check your figures, but they just look for the main things, which includes, okay, how is Mr. A able to add formulas to this? Or has he done it manually by pressing calculator and entering the figure? No. Ensure that you work in an Excel sheet and you can show proof for your workings. I think that's all about the project. Again, I just want to, we're gonna take questions, right? But I just wanted to bring to our notice that the project usually commences after the 3-month program, but we've had cases whereby some people in the class already have commenced, but so that it makes it easier for you, can take one at a time. Just try to do it at your convenient time, so that before you know it, maybe up to 6 months. The correction comes up in December, and we are already in June. I think next week July comes in, and you barely have even up to 4 more, because by October we expect that for anyone who wish to earn the FMD credential in 2024, they should have turned in their projects October 30th. So that's like the deadline for the project. So October 30th, once you're able to submit your project, that's like the deadline if you want to earn the diploma certificate this year. However, some people say, you know what, like I said earlier at the beginning, that for those who do not want to earn the FMD credential, project is not compulsory for you. We have MD and masters, so we'll definitely not be making this compulsory, because some will say, you know what, I just need a certificate of training. It's fine. Certificate of training does not require project. It just requires that you've attended the classes, taken the exam, and done all what is required without the project, and then the certificate of training will be issued. But for the FMD owner, if you want to earn the FMD credential, it's very important that you carry out this project. And like we stated earlier now, that some of us are managing portfolios and will be willing to work as a team. Please, I would appreciate if you can drop that in the class group, please. I see somebody's, I think about 2 or 3 people now have indicated that they want to work as a team. Please kindly put that on the group. We would appreciate that. We encourage teamwork for people who have large portfolios, so that the work might not be too overwhelming for you. Okay, Mr. Emiko is asking. Okay, Mr. Emiko is asking that, are you saying that I won't be getting analytics in December this year? That's when the official induction into the FMD for the FMD holders takes place in December. But like I said earlier, that for anyone, there are 4 criteria required. If you are able to meet up with your with all of these required criteria before time, whenever you're ready, your statement of results will be issued. Usually this is the process. Once you're done with all of the 4 criteria, you get a notification with your statement of results, clearly giving you what you have scored so far in the program, and then also letting you know that you have been awarded the FMD credential. So usually that suffices in the interim before the graduation for anybody who is asking to say, oh, I need something to show. So statement of results would definitely give you same thing as a certificate. But during the graduation in December, then the certificate is being issued. But for somebody who say, I don't want to wait till December, you know what, I just want it now, and I cannot, I can finish my project even in 2 weeks' time, it's fine. We'll work with you to issue your certificates for you. Okay, Mr. Crowder says, how can you say the 4 process you have to go through again? The first one is your assessment. Like I said, assessment gives you 33 marks, your class attendance, 10 marks, your project, and then the exam. Exam comes up after the 3-month training. You just take your exam, the 300 questions that will just check your engagement in class so far. There's also going to be a project briefing about the exam that will give you more insight on what to expect and how the exam has been scheduled. Usually it's a 300 question that have been randomly selected from all of our courses. So you basically have time to do this exam within 48 hours. And 48 hours interim, the 300 questions have been sectioned into 3 batches. Each batch has 100 questions. What we are trying to do is that we don't want you to take 300 questions at a stretch. So we have decided to split it in 3 batches of 100 questions. So the very first 100 can be done maybe in the morning, then maybe the second 100 later in the evening, then the third. But ensuring that you're able to attend these 300 questions within 48 hours of when you are scheduled for the exam. There are going to be different slots for the exam, of which that will also be communicated to us so that we can have it. Okay. Madam Mukamakana Kenyi said, I've not been graded in my assessment. Yes, we need to also let you know about, especially regarding the LMS portal. Our team are working diligently to ensure that this site comes up before even July, any moment from now, even before the week runs out, right? But we are working diligently to ensure that the portal, once the portal is up, you also get all these notifications accordingly. Okay, when is the exams? The exam comes up after the program, so we don't want to put pressure on it. It comes after the 3-month training, so that's around August for you. But I expect that as you're doing your assessments, you're already preparing for your exam as well. Okay, so somebody is saying 300 questions, another JAM exam after a long time. 300 questions are basically questions you are already acquainted with. It's an open book exam. I need to let you know that. But only those who are familiar with the course material, course content, will be able to, go through with it.
I hope is objective, right?
Yes, objective, multiple choice questions, OBJ, and
Okay.
can be done remotely from anywhere.
Thank you.
Okay, it's objective.
Will they give us like practice questions before the exams, or it's just we are just going into it blind?
Okay, practice questions not to say, but there's going to be a exam review session where you meet, Mr. Paul will be anchoring that session where you'll be able to, asking questions you might be having regarding the program so far, and then there's going to be like a mock sort of thing, like we'll practice questions, that are likely to be found in the exam with you during that session. And there's also going to be a mock question that will be accessible to you before the exam, 50 mock questions that you can practice with. And with all of this and your own preparation, I'm sure you'll come out with flying colors. Okay. The questions yet to be answered. Okay. Hope, do you have any question? Okay, madam, somebody was saying about the FPE. Please, Mr. Bayomi, kindly assist us in dropping that in the group. Thank you so much. Okay, so for those who also have facilities that are willing to work with, please, somebody said, share your email. No, you can put it on the group for us. Would appreciate it so that everyone can have access to it. Okay, so also regarding our facility tour for Saturday, we'll be communicating more information as regards that the group by tomorrow, latest tomorrow, so that we all can be prepared for that. Okay. Okay, Mr. Bayomi saying it's already on the group. Okay, thank you very much for that. Thank you. Do you have questions? Any question? We just have 6 minutes more to end the session. So we encourage networking in this program. Please, we need to do that networking. Okay, somebody is asking that when answering the question, will it be one-on-one with Max-Migold as in camera? Okay, a proctored, monitored exam, no. It's an open book exam, okay? It's not going to be monitored, but you only be able to deal with it only if you're familiar with the question, the course material, so to say. It's only when you know, okay, what is facility condition assessment, you know. If you have been familiar with your course materials, you can always refer back to it. It's an open book exams. Nobody's going to monitor you. And usually it's a 300 question, like I said, and a minimum of 200 is required as a pass mark for it. Okay, somebody's saying, what does the tour entails? Okay, the tour entails. Okay, no, don't be afraid. You can do it. You can do it. And like I said, I will really encourage networking in this program. Let's try as much as possible to network with ourselves. Again, for the tour that is coming up, we also encourage those who can make it should please be available. We also encourage you to be there. So the tour basically is just going to, you know, dwell more on most of the things we've learned in class. You know, there are some things we've learned that are still abstract to us for those who are new. Even for those who are already in the profession, they need to, you know, relate better to it when they get to see it on site. So we're just going to do a general facility tour ranging from the plumbing system to the water treatment, to the HVAC AC maintenance, to fire, you know, firefighting and all of the like. So for those who cannot attend, rest assured there's going to be a live streaming via our Facebook page. We'll share the link with you on that day so that you can stream live and also participate as though we are in the session in person. Okay, somebody says, is it very compulsory? No. So for those, we are saying if you can make it to the venue, is fine. But we have some of our students who are in Abuja, Port Harcourt. We are not going to make that, you know, compulsory, so that you can always just join via that live streaming. At your own convenience, at your location, you can always join. Even some Lagos people said, oh, you know what, I cannot leave my facility. I just have to join. It's fine, join virtually if you can, if that's what work for you. But so that you can also relate what we are saying, if you can make it physically, it's fine. Okay, somebody say, when exactly is the exam coming up? The exam comes up in August, yes, first week in August. But each student will be scheduled on different, how do I say, we are going to be having 3 batches for the exam. So you have to confirm your own slots for the exam so that you can prepare accordingly. All of this information will be dropped as the time goes on. First week in August is when the exam comes up. Okay. Okay, I think for the tour, we'll be able to attend to that. The tour is coming up on Saturday. Every other information regarding the facility tour will be shared tomorrow. By tomorrow, we'll share all our details regarding the tour. So for those who cannot join, rest assured you can always join live via our Facebook streaming platform. So you will not miss anything from it. Okay. I think we also have 2 minutes to go. Questions? Do you have any concerns? Please. All right. Okay, Mr. Alade David is saying, I'm in Abuja. Please, you can always network. We encourage you network, you know, especially for those who are in the virtual class. Network, you can have your group cycle where you can always study, you know. We understand that work can be overwhelming at times, but we can dedicate, you know, this group, even your small WhatsApp group can have it, and then you are, you know, engaging as required. All right, thank you, everyone. I think 2 minutes more. Yeah. Okay, Abuja people, good. Okay, Abuja people can connect. It's fine. Yes, I think we have pretty much Abuja people here. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Okay, 1 minute to go. Okay, I think at this junction, if there are no questions, it's safe to call it a day. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, and I hope you've been enjoying the classes so far, and I'm sure that whatever it is you're looking for as regards facility management, you definitely get it here. I hope you're already getting it here and you're already implementing all that you've been learning so far in your facility. So rest assured that the positive changes you're looking forward to seeing, you definitely, you know, get to see it. All right. Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.